On this episode of Three Black Guys with the Mic, we are breaking down, should we really be protesting for Colin Kapernick? All that and more on this episode of Three Black Guys with the Mic.
First of all, let me tell you something. Lamont is just full of
Sometimes my mama said, when you don't have nothing nice to say, you should be quiet.
People say that Stephen A. is a coon. You agree with that? Everybody got quiet on that one? Okay. Go ahead.
Rudy Giuliani practices voodoo. What? So he put a voodoo hex on my girl, Hillary, and that's why she got woozy. And the Secret Service had to prop her up and put her in the van.
But take us to a break, my dude.
It was voodoo, son.
I don't know about that voodoo.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is Three Black Guys with a Mic. This episode of Three Black Guys with the Mic is being brought to you by Wendy's. Wendy's has changed the value game all over again. Today, grab yourself a 4 for $4. A juicy junior bacon cheeseburger or crispy chicken BLT, large fry, 4-piece nugget, and a drink. You can always get it fresh, never frozen, at a participating Wendy's. Offer not valid in Alaska and Hawaii. Now let's start the show.
You know what, Spud? You're exactly correct. You can send me a 12 or a 24 pack. I'm good.
The Glorious is $7 a stick, man, so you might get a 6-pack, baby. On the budget we get, you might get a 6-pack of them boys.
I thought I was going to get a 12-pack, brother. 12-pack.
All right, well, welcome to another episode of Three Black Guys with the Mic. It is Spud, Lamont, and Maynard. It is Wednesday. We're a day late and $1 short, but, it is what it is, except for Lamont, because he don't got no Walmart in his town, so he ain't never $1 short.
He ain't never short.
He ain't never short. Lamont ain't never short.
We supposed to be beating up on Donald Trump, not Lamont this week.
Lamont, I'm going to give you another chance to backpedal and backtrack your statements. They done killed Raina off. I still don't see how you can say that snowfall is better than power. They done killed off Raina.
But here's the deal, and if you haven't kept up with John Singleton's new show on FX called Snowfall, he just got through learning how to make crack. They was down in Oakland, so they taking the crack back to LA.
Exactly. So this is exactly what we want to tell our listeners. Watch a show on how you can make crack, baby, from the 80s. No,
I'm just saying that's the premise of the show. And I mean, Power is the same thing. I mean, you got Ghost, he's a drug dealer. You know what I mean? So him and Tommy sell dope. So
actually, right now he's not really selling much dope, but he's doing a lot of the killing though. he is murdering my dude. He killed my man in the prison. He killed Charlie Murphy.
He killed Charlie Murphy.
He killed Charlie Murphy. Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Jeez, Manish.
Yeah,
so
and he turned around.
Lamont, I gotta ask you this as well. It's another chance for you to backpedal. Spike Lee, he got the people out there. Today is the day. It's 5:00, baby. You still got time to protest on Colin Kaepernick. They going to the NFL headquarters.
Listen.
5:00. You got a few hours.
Yeah, y'all need to check my snap. I'm gonna be out there.
Here's what I need.
Go by Bergen County, pick up Lamont, and y'all sit out there with the Three Black Guys with the Mic, fans and the banners, and get out there and protest for Colin Kaepernick.
I'm good. Don't worry about that. We keep worrying about the wrong thing. Listen, man. Mm-hmm. I know we ain't gotten to the show yet, but I keep telling y'all we need to stay out of white folks' business. That ain't none of our business right there. We got some other stuff we got to worry about. We're going to talk about it in this episode, but that ain't it. Spike.
I know we haven't started the show yet, but, before we do actually start the actual show notes, I do want to ask because, Maynard, Lamont may have a point in regards to staying out of white folks' business because I kind of did a little bit of research on the Star Spangled Banner and the National Anthem, and I'm really confused about why are we protesting the National Anthem again? Can you break that down for me?
I don't think he's protesting the National Anthem.
Why is he sitting for the National Anthem?
What he's saying is that the words that are in the verses that we celebrate when we raise our voices for that, not the verse that's been left off, which is a whole other thing, but those words ring true for certain people, right? Tommy Smith stood, and and so many black men have stood in sports and said, why should I raise up America when America treats me a certain way, right? And what Colin Kaepernick is saying is that black men like him, who look like us, all around this country, are in danger of being shot by police officers when we are unarmed or we're innocent of all things, or being treated in certain ways that they don't treat other people. And at the end of the day, if those words were true for everyone, these things wouldn't be happening. And listen, God bless them. For instance, Black Lives Matter once, all he's asking for, a lot of us are asking for is, you know what, maybe the cop was wrong, or maybe the cop is right. But damn, at least let's just go to trial and find out. These police officers get an opportunity to shoot and kill an unarmed black man in so many instances, and it doesn't even go to trial.
But Maynard, though, that's my point, and this is where I'm getting to. And again, I'm not siding with Lamont, because I'm all for the Colin Kaepernick protest. However, I am still kind of confused on why is he utilizing the Star-Spangled Banner and the National Anthem, which has absolutely nothing to do with black folks and doesn't target black folks in none of the lyrics. And he's basically taking a protest against from what I hear you're saying, against police brutality, against the way African Americans are treated in this country. Isn't that something he should take off the field?
What he's saying is those words that are in the national anthem talk about the home of the free and the brave. And if we were free, we wouldn't feel like you can go on Facebook or YouTube, or no shortage of videos of dash cam or body cam videos where I watched it. This is maybe my third or fourth time watching it. There's a brother who's walking down the street. I think it's in Minneapolis or somewhere in suburban Chicago area or something like that. And he's walking down the middle of the street. The cop just jumps out, grabs him, and it's like, yo, you're arrested for what? For walking down the middle of the street. There's a white woman off to the side. She's like, you're arresting him for walking down the middle of the street? The idea that the 13th Amendment, we all watched the 13th, it has created a system that is in need of black and brown bodies to be policed, to be shuffled into prisons and the prison beds, so that this system can make cheap products, get overtime for undereducated COs or what have you, and make certain that this prison industrial complex stays running. Like, yo, those words in that anthem, that's not for us. Those words are not, and we are supposed to be Americans as well. If we are Americans, we're supposed to be.
Hold on, Lamont. Hold on. Let's get some backstory, right? Let's get some backstory, and this is the reason why I brought this up, because from what I understand and from what I have read, and wait a minute, hold on. I know you got a new mic and you all excited today. You got your studio back up and running. Just bring it down for 1 second. So, from what I understand, the national anthem of the United States is a poem written in 1814 by Francis Scott in Fort McHenry about the Battle of Baltimore Harbor. What does that have to do with black folks? That has nothing to do with black folks. So the lyrics in that song is the foundation of the Battle of Baltimore. And so what I'm asking is that if that is the case, and this attorney was 35 years old who wrote this national anthem inspired by the United States flag, wrote it about the Battle of Baltimore, I'm confused on where the lyrics are that Colin Kaepernick is saying that is offensive to black folks. Now, I get what you're saying in regards to, the land of the free and the home of the brave. No, we are not the land of the free and the home of the brave. Might be the home of the brave, but we're not the land of the free. So I understand your context and what you're saying there. And if that is your point, I get it. But is it enough for Colin Kaepernick to be sitting down and not standing during the national anthem, which is a football tradition, which people give him millions of dollars to actually play football, which kind of goes along. If you go to your job and they say you got to wear a suit, you got to wear a suit because that's just the requirements of the job, right? So that just kind of goes along with the job. So I'm almost with Lamont, but I'll tell you where I'm not with Lamont in 1 second. But is this one of those things where we putting our nose in white folks' business?
No. We're not.
Okay, but,
the reason why we're not is because
can I ask a question?
If this is not the land of the free and the home of the brave, if we're not free, then it can't be the land of the free.
So can I ask a question?
Sure.
A question? Because this is where, in my opinion, Maynard scales 1/3 of Three Black Guys with a Mic, where he just got through falling short. He used an example about a young man walking down the middle of the street and getting arrested. Then he went on this tangent about the prison industrial complex and making shoes for Nike and pressing and making furniture in the car, all that. My question is simply this. Is it or is it not illegal for the man to be walking in the middle of the street?
It may be, it may be a violation, but I mean, let's be honest.
Stop.
Lamont,
so
Lamont, I'm not.
You kind of stretched out a little bit, Lamont, but I see where you're going.
What do you know? I'm just saying is that he broke the rules, Playboy.
That's bull, Lamont. That is bull. That's bull. That's bull.
Okay.
That's bull.
Well, where's the bull at?
Yeah, where's the bull?
It's just the
tell me where it's right
dogs.
for me to walk in the middle of the street. And a person who is in charge of enforcing the law, because the law is don't walk in the middle of the street. It's just like the dude that's driving, he don't have a driver license. Come on, man.
I don't know if you can get arrested. You're not supposed to get arrested. That's a violation. But
maybe,
you can't
maybe
be walking
not.
down the street and you walking in the middle of the street and jaywalk and you go to jail. There got to be some more behind that.
Hold up, but every municipality could be different. What they do in Tupelo, Mississippi might not be what they do in Chicago, Illinois.
This is the foolishness. This is the foolishness that if you allow this foolishness to spread, it becomes normal. And this is what they did. This is what happened in the Jim Crow era. This is what happened shortly during Reconstruction. They would say, okay, black man, you can't do such and such. You can't be here after a certain hour. Okay, well, fine. The black man was there after a certain hour. You're going to jail. Now you got a felony on you. So now you got a felony. You got to go to prison and become a slave again. This is just a means to enslave black folks. That white man could have just simply said, hey, my man, I need you to, get up on the sidewalk. Now, let me tell you another story that's real critical because this happens on a regular basis in the city of Chicago. I lived there for a couple of years, as some of my friends will know. And right now, there's some on the South Side, there's some challenges. A lot of the kids who are not gangbanging walk down the middle of the street because that gives them the greatest opportunity to escape somebody who may jump out from the side. Now, that's not everywhere, but that does happen. People, we played in the middle of the street. That was when we couldn't play football in backyards. That's where we played. We played football in the middle. We played pole to pole football. That's what we called it, pole to pole. One pole was a touchdown. The other pole was the other touchdown. So getting arrested for walking down the middle of the street is ridiculous. This is utter stupidity. And it's just a means to say we're going to put hands. For the idea that somebody is going to put hands on you simply for walking is bull. And Lamont,
not just for walking, because you stop
for walking down the middle of the street. There's no crime being committed. That's not a crime. That's not a crime. Hey, get out of the street. Oh, my bad. That's not a crime. That's not a crime. This is not a scenario where anyone should go to. You don't have to touch me. You don't have to put hands on me. You don't have to put handcuffs on me. You don't have to. No, none of that. Right. That's false, Lamont. And if you rocking out like that, my dude, God bless you. But no.
But let's get back to Colin Kaepernick. Let's get back to Colin Kaepernick. So let's get back to Colin Kaepernick because I want to stay focused on. Should we be protesting for Colin Kaepernick or not? Okay, Maynard is on the yes side. I'm in the middle. Lamont is on the no side.
So I'm on the hell no side.
Okay, you're on the hell no side.
And can I please elaborate on why I say hell no? Another hole in Maynard Scales' dissertation is he was trying to interpret what he thought Colin Kaepernick may be saying or what his thoughts are. And that's another one of my issues. How come we ain't heard Colin, I want to make sure I pronounce the brother's name correctly, because I asked him, can you send me a text, a tweet, a chirp, a FaceTime, a Facebook on what you want us to do? Because everybody out here, include Uncle Spike and everybody else, want to protest on this black man's behalf, and we ain't heard nothing from him. And I just want to know why. All these great philosophers and philosophizing people and people who know the future and can read minds, somebody needs to tell me, what does he want us to do?
Okay,
and why does everybody get silent when it comes to that portion?
That's a good point. So let's go back to, let's see if we can wrap this up. So from my understanding, Maynard and Lamont, because you guys are bigger football fans than I am, Colin Kaepernick did not get let go from the 49ers. Colin Kaepernick decided to opt out of his next contract because he felt like they were not going to renew it. Am I correct on that?
Hello.
So if Colin Kaepernick decided to remove himself from the 49ers, he is now a free agent at this point. No one, and again, to Lamont's point, nowhere does it say in the press that he had a problem specifically with the 49ers. I think, and again, I could be wrong on this, so correct me if I am, I think that what he said was, or he assumed was, hey, I'm going to get fired anyway from my protest, so I might as well opt out and hopefully I'm going to get another deal. And so this is where we are left in regards to Colin Kaepernick not being able to get a job because the 49ers passed. I mean, not the 49ers, the Ravens passed on him. Obviously, Miami, they picked up, Jay Cutler. So he can't get a job, I'm sure, because everyone feels like they don't want the attention drawn to them. I mean, Jerry Jones said, yo, we not having that in Cowboy Nation. We're not even having that. So I feel strongly that everyone should save that moment of recognition of the flag in a positive way. And we stand it. When they start singing Old Spangled Banner, Star Spangled Banner, we stand it, is what Jerry Jones was saying. So nobody wants to pick up Colin Kaepernick in regards to what comes along with Colin Kaepernick. Now, I understand that. So that is a point in regards to, okay, well, you didn't get fired and you opted out, and you did tell the Baltimore Ravens that you would go along with the national anthem. So now you want us to protest because you're not hired. Should we be protesting based off the fact that he decided that he did not want to be a part of the NFL or the 49ers anymore? It would be the same thing as if we say, we need to be protesting Kyrie Irving because he doesn't want to play with LeBron no more and nobody else wants to pick him up. No. Now, let me finish my point in regards to where I think that we should be protesting. Should Colin Kaepernick be playing? Absolutely. He's a good enough quarterback. He's qualified. He's a good dude. When I see Marshawn Lynch and you see, what's the new boy, Seth Dale and the Cleveland Browns, and everyone is now going along with Colin Kaepernick and what they believe the Star Spangled Banner is about, and it doesn't represent. I mean, Seth Dale, I hope I'm saying his name right, says, look, I got a black wife, and I got to go along. I mean, I got to support my black wife, which I understand. And again, I still am confused in regards to the whole Star Spangled Banner and what it has to do with black folks, but I get the overall gist of what you're saying, Maynard. So, I said all that to say, it's hard to say, should we be protesting for Colin Kaepernick? Because on one side, you kind of got to say this is something that he did upon himself. But on the other side, I'm going to say on Maynard's side, Lamont's side, this is something that he took upon himself. He's not coming out and saying anything about it. He's not making a plea on why he should be in the NFL. Everyone else is going to his defense except for him. However, on Maynard's side, yes, this is something that needs to be brought to attention in regards to African Americans, the way we're treated in this country. And I'm glad that Colin Kaepernick is standing for the things that are going on in regards to race in this country, police brutality, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if he's doing it in the right way, but because he's not playing and he's a good and a qualified quarterback to be in the NFL, and other people are protesting and they're not getting, reprimanded, and he's still sitting on the sidelines when you got black and white players now protesting the national anthem, that to me is a problem. So,
hey, Lamont,
I'm done.
Lamont, I disagree with you. You disagree with me. I don't know what the hell Spud just did. Are you thoroughly lost? I'm talking to Lamont. Sir, can I have a conversation with Lamont?
Sure.
Hold on, Lamont. You know where I stand. And I know where you stand.
Yes.
Where the hell is Spud?
I'm in the middle. I said that in the beginning.
No, he's on the fence. He's like the rooster. He's on the fence, bro.
You know what he did? He said,
rooster.
Come
on, son.
On one side, and then on Maynard's side, but then again on Maynard's side, and then again on, I don't even know. Can we take a break?
No, how could you not know? You're saying we should protest the NFL because Colin Kaepernick is not playing based off of the views that he feels about the national anthem. Lamont is saying, the national anthem has nothing to do with why he's protesting, so no, we shouldn't be protesting. The Lions come on 1 o'clock on Sunday.
No, Lamont ain't saying anything about why he's protesting or not protesting. Lamont is just saying, I'm watching the Lions.
But now, and listen, and let me just say this, man, and this just in, I don't know if you all saw this, but I guess the suburban Detroit's favorite white Confederate flag waving rocker said last night, F you to Colin Kaepernick. So just because that? Oh yeah, just hit the wire about a half hour ago. So, he did a show last night. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's like they take that flag, they take that national anthem very seriously.
Wait, and Kid Rock said F you to Colin Kaepernick? Now I really want to protest.
But see, but you know what the funny part about this is, for someone who says they want to take that flag seriously, or take the national anthem seriously, and there's the Charlottesville thing. The Confederate flag is the flag of treasonous who fought a war against the red, white, and blue. The Confederates, in fact, assassinated a sitting president in Abraham Lincoln.
Yes. We don't get that portion. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
They assassinated a sitting president.
Yes.
The Confederates lost. Donald Trump said something like, where's it end? Is it going to be George Washington and Thomas Jefferson? George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, all be them slave owners in their time, were presidents of the United States. Robert E. Lee was a president of a foreign enemy nation. Why are these people conflating the concept of the Confederacy and the Union as somehow they're the same? Do we not recognize that the Civil War was the bloodiest war? We don't raise the flag of Spain. We fought Spain. We fought Mexico. We fought France. We fought England. We fought all these people, and these people want to raise the flag of an enemy nation. Kid Rock, you know what? Thank you, Spud. You just gave me the cactus.
We're switching cactus now.
Spoiler alert.
We're speaking of football. We're pulling the audible.
Spoiler alert. Kid Rock, stay tuned.
So Lamont is not down with the protest. He's not gonna sign the petition or none of that. He ain't down. He ain't going out there with Uncle Spike. Are you at least gonna sign the petition to replace the Confederate monument in Portsmouth with Missy Elliott?
Come on, dude. We just got through talking before we started the podcast about, we got to worry about Carter G. Woodson. We got Rose need a spot.
Come on, go to change.org and sign up. Let's get Missy Elliott at a monument in VA.
Come on, man. Let's chill with that, man. I'm not really big on the Virginia history, but I'm pretty sure there's some black person that, other than Missy, shout to Missy. No, that gave a little bit, from a entertainment perspective, she did contribute, but I'm pretty sure there were some, as some would say, some boots on the ground, some people that did some.
So what, monuments can only be with people who are activists?
I mean, if that's the case, if we throwing that around, I needed to put a monument up of Jay-Z up in Brooklyn.
I think they need a Barry Gordy statue in Detroit. I'm all with it.
Dude, we just can't keep throwing statues around. You know what I'm saying? We only got some.
Black folks can't get statues. That's a problem. Black folks
No.
can't get statues.
No. What I'm
Before
saying
you
is,
said on the last podcast and a couple podcasts before, you didn't like Puerto Ricans. You didn't like Bruno Mars because he was Puerto Rican. You didn't like Bruno Mars because he was Hawaiian. You didn't like Bruno Mars because he was Mexican. Now you saying you don't want no black folk statues up.
Hey, Lamont, he came at you. He came, you know what? Sometimes you got to stay out of black folks' business. That's your problem. You got to deal with that, man. I'm staying out.
I mean, I'm feeling like we got Breitbart News around here. I'm feeling some Alex Jones on the mic right now. I'm like, can we slow this train down? Is it Infowars.com? Did they buy some time on this podcast? Let's slow this down a little bit. I didn't say any of that.
You did say you didn't like Bruno Mars.
No, I still don't like Bruno Mars. Even though he tried to bribe my people with $1 million.
He didn't bribe. He gave. He donated. Give that man his props.
I want to see the canceled check, bro. Let me see that. I need to make sure the funds got into the city of Flint's account.
Okay.
I'm just telling you. They told us it was a Santa Claus, bro, so I'm not believing nobody.
I thought you just told us that you believe in Santa Claus now.
No, I don't know. I was just told when there was a Santa Claus. You remember the little Doppler radar they used to show a little Santa Claus that was on the TV? Talking about he in St. Louis and he'll be in Chicago in 2 hours. You're like, that was a lie, bro, you know?
Spud.
What?
Tonight, Lamont dropped Alex Jones, Infowars, Breitbart News, Doppler radar. Like, yo, man, well, you've been boning up on your research?
Right. And on which websites have you been reading?
What is going on?
No, y'all remember that Doppler radar with Santa Claus, bro?
Was it Super Doppler or was it the digital Doppler?
I don't even know what Doppler is. I just remember the Doppler radar. Santa Claus is in St. Louis. Y'all need to hurry up and go to bed because he'll be in Chicago in 2 hours. And Detroit, he'll be an hour after that. Now, I don't know how he got to everybody's crib in an hour, but he made it pop off. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my God. Speaking of Breitbart, let's talk about our celebrity-in-chief, Maynard. Steve Bannon is out. He declared war on the opposition. Is this going to be a benefit to the Trump administration, or will this cause for Trump base to bottom out? Is the Trump base going? Is they out of here now that Steve Bannon is gone?
Yo, this is a real touchy scenario. You know, Donald Trump was afraid of cutting Bannon loose because Bannon, you know, first of all, Bannon rolled out of the White House where he's making probably a couple $100,000 a year, $300,000-400,000 or something. I don't know. The president makes $400,000, so he wasn't making that much. And he rolled right back into Breitbart and didn't miss no checks. I mean, my man is getting money off, you know, up front. He probably is making 3 or 4 times as much over at Breitbart than he was making, you know, working in the White House. And immediately comes out and is shooting daggers at McMaster. And now he's shooting daggers at Donald Trump over last night's speech on Afghanistan. Right. So this is not a good look right here for Trump. And I think this is the problem. The people, the smarter Republicans who abandoned Donald Trump a long time ago, they're not coming back. Even Donald Trump improves and becomes more presidential, they're not coming back because they've been turned off to the point where, oh my God, it's just too much, right? And we saw that where the business leaders abandoned him last week. Some of the church groups decided to abandon him. And the internet companies that had their internet manufacturing, blah, 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 whatever that was, I can't remember the actual name of the council, they abandoned them last week as well. And then they've come out with him. Jeff Flake is on his case. McCain's on his case. Several other Republicans have come out against him. And in fact, a vote for censure in the House has been raised. Now, Paul Ryan hasn't went forward with it. What am I saying? He's losing help from the Republicans who are, you know, either the moderate to, you know, slightly right-wing Republicans. If Steve Bannon takes away the far right wing from Donald Trump by saying Donald Trump ain't doing right, then that 37%, that 32%, which has been his floor, is going to start looking like 23% because those people listen to Steve Bannon and Breitbart and Alex Jones and all those crazies that are over there who say, you know, things that are wild.
So Lamont, you think that Donald Trump is going to be winning again now with Steve Bannon? Is he going to lose that base? You always protecting his base.
No, listen, man. And I keep saying this. Donald Trump is winning. Donald Trump is such a Superman, a super president.
Superman.
Listen to me. Let me give it to you.
That's
Let
the same
me help
thing
you.
as saying the great Charlemagne the God.
Whoa, what? No, in his space, he's good. Did y'all not?
You called him a guy. You called him the great. You called him the great.
No, the great.
Yeah, the great. Did you right? Because every medical professional told you yesterday, do not look at the solar eclipse with your bare eyes. And what did Donald do? Donald looked right at it. My man, Superman, bro. You got to give my man a W. I'm gonna tell you what else Donald did. I'm gonna tell you what he did.
Superman or super dumb.
Listen. Dude, last night in his speech when he talked about Afghanistan, right? So I'm sitting on the plane, I'm watching the speech, right? And my man sat up there, he straight told y'all a bold-faced lie. He said, listen, I'm not going to tell y'all how many troops. I'm not going to tell y'all when I'm bombing. I ain't going to tell y'all nothing. It hadn't even been 24 hours yet, and then he announced how many troops he was sending over there. So it's just like, he's a Superman, bro. Like, he's going to tell you what he wants to tell you. Then he's going to double down. He's going to lie. He is winning. His base knows that he is not the brightest, that he's going to do what he wants, and they love it. And it could go down to 20%. Is it bad? And yes, Maynard, he did this speech. He's trying to shoot all of these moves while everybody is at home on recess because he knows when they come back, he got to answer some questions, certain things. It's going to be so much opposition. So right now, he can be the king and not the president. So I get it. He's winning, bro, because he's in his own little space, his own island, his own world. I mean, even if you just look at the way that this guy, the way he just speaks, I mean, just his body language, like he can't even stand still. You ever notice that?
Right.
When he talks from the sideways. He doesn't look straight ahead. He's just like, I hate to say this because, again, I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody, but he kind of acts like a drug addict. If you really have ever seen a drug addict who's always fidgeting and moving and can't sit still, that's a lot of dudes' mannerisms. You know what I'm saying? So it's like.
But this is what I'm trying to say, for instance, Lamont, and it's well illustrated in the Washington Post. And if you had checked your show notes real well, you would have read this. Just to let you know, slight jab, pow, 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 1, 2, 1, 2. 3 justifications for changing his position. First, our nation must seek an honorable and enduring outcome worthy of tremendous sacrifices. Second, consequences, rapid exit, etc. A hasty withdrawal would create a vacuum. Third, finally, I concluded the security threats we face in Afghanistan. Blah 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 blah. Now, his base, the Steve Bannons of the world loved was this isolationist Donald Trump. Hey, that ain't, as Lamont would say, that ain't none of our business. That's their business over there. We ain't going over there. We're gonna bring our people home. And if they want to kill each other, then that's their business. We're gonna put our fingers in our ear and go la 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 and act like it ain't even happening.
No, man, if you're gonna quote me, can you quote me correctly? That's white folks' business.
Okay.
That's what I said.
All right. It's a
business,
metaphor.
Would it be business?
Business. And so this change in position is exactly what Bannon came out and criticized in Breitbart the very next day, right? And what happens is Bannon has the ear of those far right-wing Republicans who are his base. He has their ear and speaks their language far better than Donald Trump speaks their language. Donald Trump was not speaking their language natively. He was speaking their language as Bannon was giving it to him. He basically was regurgitating Bannon's information. Now with Bannon on the outside and Donald Trump following Kelly and following McMaster's and following smarter people, he is going to upset Bannon, who Bannon is going to demonstrate to the American people who follow Donald Trump that he's a flip-flopper. In fact,
but that should be a good thing, though, right? It should be a good thing for the Trump
No,
administration.
and that's what I'm trying. No,
it should
listen.
be a good thing for the Trump administration for him to be following, General Kelly and McMaster, because finally he's probably, he's not the smartest person in the room, allegedly, right? And so if he's following these guys in the long run, right? I mean, he has more influence and more power than Steve Bannon will have. Steve Bannon probably will last 6-7 months in regards to throwing daggers after him, but he's still got 3 more years left in this seat. I mean,
I don't know about that, Steve. You know, Breitbart's been around for a while, and
Breitbart's been around for what, 17 years?
I'm not sure, but Breitbart and Steve Bannon ain't going away tomorrow.
No, or the next 4 years at all.
Right.
So can I ask you both a question?
Been up for 10 years.
So can I ask you both a question? I want to know, am I right or am I wrong when I've said over and over and over again on this podcast, we need to stay out of white folks' business because you see what they're doing. They're cannibalizing one another. And if we quit trying to be in their business, they will end up eating one another. So leave those white folks alone. Am I right? Is that we thought that Steve Bannon and all of his shenanigans and Donald, they were going to be buddy. How long did Steve Bannon last at 1600? Maynard?
No one's really lasted at 1600.
Exactly.
Really
yeah, I mean 1600 has a damn revolving door.
Right,
I understand.
Right.
No.
Hey, look,
but you
some of the, I
heard.
heard some of the offices in 1600 were fitted with ejection seats.
They got the manufactured offices. They got the mobile offices. Did you guys see the Rap Radar interview with Jay-Z?
Well, I heard it. I didn't see it, but I mean, I'm with you. Was there a visit? Was there a visual?
It was a video. It was a video.
Okay, yeah, I was listening to it when I was in the car, so I didn't.
Come on, Mr. Title.
No. I probably didn't hit the right button, but I listened to the entire, well, at least part 1, because they haven't dropped part 2 yet. And again, it's almost like to me, it was like Sunday dinner. You know what I mean? It put it in perspective. Now, what I did find was interesting, because I kept hearing dishes and forks and knives and spoons in the background. And then I'm
we
like,
doing our podcast all wrong.
Yeah, we doing this wrong. We need to be at the bar or something doing our podcast. You know what I'm saying? We trying to be all professional, and Jay and B Dot and Elliot, they in the kitchen while they making pancakes and eggs for breakfast.
Right.
But again, I think Homeboy, he took it to another level, man. And some of the things that he broke down and just all the way around. So I mean, if you don't have title, you know, Maynard, I got you. If you need to hook up, you know what I'm saying?
Why you gotta shout me out again like that, man? I plead the fifth.
I mean,
that means you didn't see it?
I watched about 2 minutes of it that was somewhere else on the internet.
You saw the trailer.
Yeah.
Free portion. That's okay, man. I got you.
Yeah.
You my man. I got you. I got the username and password for you, Playboy. I got you.
So you liked it, Lamont? You didn't have any problem with it?
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, he broke down, even the conversation about Kanye, which we all knew, but he was very specific, when he talked about, how he's focused on legacy, how he's focused on, Kanye, don't put my wife or my baby's name, that shouldn't come out your mouth in a public platform. I mean, he just talked about, how he's moving and the reasons why he moves, which, me being a 40-plus-year-old black man in America, I get it 150,000%. And he basically said, without him saying it, let's stay out of white folks' business. Let's do our own thing. Let's build our own brands. Let's build our own infrastructure to the best of our ability. And there's one thing that he said that was just so on point to me. He said that we are culture. We need to stop trying to go to companies and ask for this and just build our own. You know what I mean? So, even something like what we're talking about on this podcast, because at the end of the day, even with that, of what he was doing in that format is very similar to what we're doing. He's building his title brand up a little bit bigger because nowhere else is he ever going to do an interview like that except on his own platform.
And I'm sure that is probably, took the subscribers to title to a whole other level.
Absolutely.
Clicks and views.
Yep. Absolutely. So he's not on Apple Music. He's not on Spotify. I mean, he even broke that down as well, which I have to still go do some more research on my own about how Spotify is able to, utilize free streams towards, certain credits and, other platforms are not able to. So just some of the unfairness, practices that go in terms of streaming services. It was just a very nourishing, fulfilling interview to me, and I'm
It
just
was
waiting on
grown
part
man.
two.
It was really grown man. And I think that, I hope that, again, from what Jay was saying, that he's trying to pass this information on. I hope that, the younger, like my son, and, we talk about him a lot on this podcast. And, I hope that, I'm saying, the younger generation, the 20, 24, 25-year-olds can really understand the depth of what it is that he's saying and actually start to put those things into practice. Maynard, Diddy actually said the same thing. He said it's very important for us to know our history at this time. We have such a rich history. If you don't know who Marcus Garvey is, Google him. He is somebody you should follow during these times. Our goal should be our economic independence. Then we won't have to worry about what anybody has to say. Do you agree with what Diddy is saying, and along with what Lamont was saying in regards to what Jay-Z was saying?
There's a lot of agreeing and disagreeing, and that's a convoluted question.
Do you agree or do you not? Just say yes or no.
Damn,
complicated. Dang.
Why y'all damning me?
I'm complicated. Do you agree or do you not agree?
I think that Diddy is. I think there are two parts to it. I think he's saying the right things, but I don't think he's delivering enough. It's very superficial, and it takes a lot. Spud, you say this all the time. You say you can't teach somebody calculus if they don't know basic math, right?
That's a Lamont phrase.
No, that's Lamont. See, once again, you're trying to defame and misquote.
Lamont, okay, hold on. Lamont, you say this all the time.
Thank you.
Okay. And I think, where a lot of these people are, and this kind of goes a little bit, if you listen to it in the right context, it sounds as if he's really talking about uplifting the community. And I think he is. I think he means that. But if you listen long enough at Diddy, or you read into Diddy's words enough, you start to understand that, it's, again, it's kind of this easier said than done thing. And where that looks like on crack is Dame Dash's interview that time. We're like, yo, can't no black man be out here and be a father to his son if he's got a boss? A lot, in many ways, a lot of us have to go to work. Most black people have to go to work. Most people in America have to go to work, have a job, and try to build wealth. And the idea that we're going to have this economic independence when something like 50% of the black community in America is holding on to literally negative equity in their lives based on their debts, that is just so much easier said than done. And so I think what we have to have is these conversations with Diddy, who's inspiring some people, and with Jay, who's inspiring people, and even Dame, who's inspiring people, but they have to be fleshed out so that people say, well, where do I fit in? How am I going to have that? How can I do this? And you guys are successful and you've done these things. Can you give me some keys to the kingdom? Because otherwise, there are a lot of people saying, well, I'm about to get put on, and they don't have a plan.
Yeah, but he gave you $1 million gain worth of $9.99.
Yeah, I mean that's I'm speaking to the Diddy piece because the Marcus Garvey piece is unique. Marcus Garvey, advocated for basically like a return to Africa. Right. Marcus Garvey, he also advocated for like, yo, we're gonna build our own communities and our own this, and it seems, and Marcus Garvey was right until Tulsa happened, until Rosewood happened, until so when you know that you can build a community, you can build wealth, you can have all these things, and then they can come in and kill and exterminate and rob people, black people, then you start to understand that it's easier said than done because our wealth has been stolen so often.
Why do I feel like you're hating a little bit, Maynard?
Why do
I feel like we had an uplifting message come from a middle-aged black male, and you kind of turned into, well, we got to figure out how everybody fits into that. Like, I'm confused. I'm feeling a little down. And I was a little bit more inspired by listening to his message. But as I listened to your long dissertation, I'm just feeling like, do I need to find a razor blade? Like, I'm confused. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know which way to go. I know we up on a break, bro, but I'm just like, we might have to try to address this a little bit more on the other side because I'm just confused, Playboy. Honestly.
Well, then learn a little bit more about Marcus Garvey, and then you'll probably have a better understanding.
Okay. Well, I know a little bit about it, but again, I know we're up against a break, and we can touch on that too. But I'm just feeling like, again, with the whole, because the one piece I'm a little confused about, and I agree, a lot of people do have, what some may call a 9-to-5, but I don't think there's anything wrong with, someone even still having, some other small moving business on the weekends or whatever it may be. I think that there is a balance that people can take. But again, I might be feeling the wrong thing. I might be a little, sensitive about this, but I was just feeling like the eclipse came back and it got dark, bro. You know what I mean? And it hasn't moved on yet. And again, I'm looking for the razor blade and the alcohol. Like, do I need to start cutting on myself or what?
This is the way I look at it. I've looked at it from an economic independence, and what he's saying in that way is basically the same thing that Jay-Z is saying. Stop spending your money over here and start investing your money over here. Then that way you don't have to ask anybody for anything, and you don't have to worry about what anybody is saying. If you're just basically, I don't necessarily know if that has to do with income level. I mean, at some point, again, to Lamont's point, hey, most people have 9-to-5s, but you can work a side job on the weekend. Or don't take that money and go and buy a brand new pair of Jordans. Save your money, become economically independent, invest in your own business, and then make money so you can be able to invest into your community and so forth and so on. So that way you can be financially free. Because at the end of the day, I think that is the best way for us, for black folks, to actually remove the stigmatism of oppression and racism. It's economic independence.
Okay, great. Listen, I got a couple $100, maybe $2,000-$3,000.
You got more than that. You got more than that.
I'm just saying, no, for this particular project that I want to do, Lamont, I'm gonna give you this $2,000. You put your money with it, Lamont, Spud, you put your money with it. Let's buy some share and title.
I don't necessarily know if I want to be an investor in title.
You just said we're going to invest our money over here.
No, it doesn't have to be a specific place. I mean,
okay, let's buy.
A couple podcasts ago that title was losing. Then they were like $20 million in debt. Why I want to put my money over there?
Oh, okay. Well, let's invest our money in Ciroc.
It doesn't necessarily have to be that. I get your point, and I'm all for it.
Where are we going to invest our money in so we can get our investment in our economic independence? Give me the black company that's being traded on the stock market now.
Wait. So, man, does it have to be a black company?
Right.
Well, if we're going to have economic independence, right? It's a we thing that he started, like black. They're talking about the African American or the black community of America is going to have this economic independence, right?
I would think so, yes, but I don't necessarily know if that has to do with a we thing. I think it also applies to individuality. I mean, would you call yourself economically independent?
For about 3 months, yeah.
Okay. That's a good start. But you could take that 3 months and turn it into 6. You could take that 6 months and turn it into a year.
I'm asking y'all to help me find that good black business that I should be investing in. That's going to A, build the black business and build black wealth, and B, help me make some more money. Which one is it? Y'all just tell me which one.
But here's my issue, even with that thought process. I don't think that it should be about just is it a black business, because Tidal's not a black business. Tidal is a music streaming company that services all different formats. And Jay-Z is not the sole owner of the company. So, I think that particular thought process is not on point. And
I will just doing all kinds of just dancing, right? A minute ago, we were talking about you, Spud. You said invest your money over here. Where is over here?
Doesn't matter.
Hold on. You said let's not buy no Nikes. Let's invest our money over here. Where is over here?
You would agree, right? I think that you would agree that the hip hop culture, African Americans, right? You've said it on this podcast that it's poison.
And y'all just agree with me,
right? Okay, I'm following you now. I'm the middleman here. I get to jump from fence, from one side of the fence to the other. That's a good part that I have on this side, on this podcast. However, if we are the consumers of product, right? To Jay's point on his podcast, right? We are culture. So if we go out and we buy, I don't know, Jordans or whatever the case may be, we make things fresh. However, we are spending most of our money on things that are disposable, right? Not investing. Things that are cars with rims, with TVs in them, with Jordans, with jewelry, with Ferragamo, with, all that other stuff, right? So a lot of the expenses are going out, but you don't see enough of us buying property or investing in title or investing in Hennessy, investing in anything. It doesn't have to be a black company. It's a matter of, shit, Ciroc is in a black company. So it doesn't have to necessarily be about it being African-American. I think the message is take your money and stop throwing $30,000 away in the strip club and take that $30,000 and buy a few buildings on the block. And then when downtown or wherever your suburban area or your urban area is and somebody wants to come in and buy you out, you can make $25 million off of a property that may have cost you $2 million. Or you could have made $400,000 off of a property that cost you $30,000. We're not flipping the money. And I think that's the message. It's not where you put your money. It's a matter of, are you putting your money somewhere that can make you some money? Rather than, I put my money on my shoes or on the road or around my neck. Everybody got quiet on me.
No. I mean, again, no. I was waiting on my loving brother, Maynard Scales, to try to debunk what you just said. But I was going to add on to this and say, I think what you said, and I'm going to say a little bit differently. I just feel like, and I'm including this too, until maybe about 10 or 15 years ago, is that we have been, I think, psychologically trained to consume and not to build. So even like if you listen to Jay or any other people, I even said this myself, is that the worst experience or financial person I ever made in my life, and, I don't know how we need to start doing a little disclaimer so, we don't get any trouble, but I had the worst time with Range Rover. You know what I mean? I was always at the repair place because it just always broke down, but I was in so much of a consumption kind of place and I was able to do it. You know what I mean? And it was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I got it now. I'm here. And it's like we're looking for that next high in terms of consuming something. And again, like what Jay-Z said on the record is that, if he would have not been in that consuming mode and of buying, not necessarily buying, but in terms of investing and not just consuming, he would be in a different place. Because I remember a long time, I forgot what other record it was, said that he had drove every big car and he had did X, Y, and Z. And again, what he's really saying is, I don't need to buy all these doggone cars. So I'm with you 150%. And we have to get to the younger people for them to understand that concept. I get the Hermes or Hermes or whatever, the belt that they got to stick their pants, the shirt in their pants so everybody can see the H. I get we got to make sure that the this and the that is there, and you got to have the skin tight shirt on like the Migos and all that. I get all that. And you're going to go through all that. And I think what we can do is, I don't think we should be able to deprive some of the young people from going through that stage. But I think at the same time, we got to give them the information of, yo, dog, if you just spent $800 on a belt, and I don't know what it costs, how about we get a belt that's $500, which is still whack, but let's take that $300 and like Maynard said, well, what do we put our money in? Well, you know what? It's something called a blockchain technology. And if you don't know what that is, then you need to Google that. You feel what I'm saying? Just like somebody said to me years ago, Lamont, if you don't know what the Bitcoin is, you need to Google that. So those who spent $200 is now able to trade that $200 at $4,000 per coin. You feel what I'm saying? In like 5 years. So that's what we need to try to get to some of the younger people now, to get them some of that information. So Maynard, I gave you the answer, and it's not a black company, but it's called blockchain.
Hey, Spud.
Yes.
Let me just check here. So he shouted out blockchain technology, Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Doppler radar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are those on the copyright infringement list, or do we get a check?
No, I'm just saying. Yeah. I think.
Listen, man.
We playing Lamont Hayes bingo right now. All you got to do, all he got.
Man,
I'm gonna scream go in a second.
Oh my gosh, that is
hey man, I had a
hilarious.
good breakfast this morning, man. Leave me be, man. I had a very good breakfast, brother.
Oh my gosh.
So my sister's slow right now.
Alex Jones, Breitbart, blockchain technology, Bitcoin. I think that is up there, dude. That's acrobatic right there. You. Strong J, everybody. Strong J.
Go girl.
Hey,
Strut
hey, man,
girl.
is it break
Strut
time?
girl.
Yes, sir. Is it break
It's
time?
not break time. The show is over, ladies and gentlemen. We get into the cactus right now, and we out of this piece. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the cactus of the week. This is where somebody says something extremely, extremely stupid, and they got to choke on their words. I think we already know who that is. Maynard, who's getting the cactus this week, my brother?
Well, the cactus, it's made its rounds around and around and around the world a couple of times. And it just wants to find a home somewhere it can just sit and just marinate in somebody's throat. And this is a year coming, in fact. Lamont brought up the Kid Rock diss on Colin Kaepernick. And I want Kid Rock to enjoy this cactus. But, that was a year old, in fact. That was said last September. And
Damn,
so I'm not
Lamont,
going.
that was last September.
You sure it was last September?
You got us all hyped up.
You got me all set to go ahead and get this man a cactus. Ain't nothing but a swallow.
Wait. But how could that be? How could that be last September?
For 2016?
No. Hold up. No, how could that be last September, man? And he was playing last September. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but he was also kneeling last September. Kid Rock says F. Colin Kaepernick at recent show September 12th, September 13th, 2016.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, watch it. I just got the text. I was like, oh my God, it must have been last night. I got a text. They're like, Lamont, you see your boy last night? I said, huh?
Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so sorry for alternative facts by Lamont Hayes.
Alternative facts.
You know what?
Fake news. We are officially fake news, ladies and gentlemen.
He is on the Smitty and Conway bandwagon.
Oh my gosh, we are on fake news.
Yeah.
Damn. Anyways, well, no Kid Rock cactus. Kid Rock, we are extremely sorry for trying to ready.
No.
We were ready.
I'm not.
Hold on. Let me clarify my apology. He
still
definitely still gets it. I'm just saying we apologize for wanting to go because I was ready to get out there and protest you, Kid Rock. I was going to find your place, Playboy, and I'm sorry that I got to backpedal my aggression against you because Lamont had it all wrong. Anyway, go ahead, Maynard.
You can still be mad at Kid Rock. Kid Rock still deserves some of this hate. He still deserves some of this anguish.
That's like me saying I got to be mad at somebody who said something to me, a year ago. I got to be mad at my wife for some shit she brought up, a year ago.
Well, I'm going to go a little bit off script with this one. Normally, we try to give it to somebody who everyone knows, and people do know this dude. His name is Chris Cantwell. Chris Cantwell was on Vice last week, and he was telling the reporter on Vice that he wants to turn. He was out at Charlottesville, and he was leading some neo-Nazis, and he was saying that the level of racism that he feels is not yet, it hasn't reached its height. That he wants more racists to come out. He wants more racists to be even more racist. Like turn racists up to 10. No, he wants to crank it up to like 15. And he had all this smack he was talking. He was talking real tough, real crazy, running down the street, chanting his little chants about Jews will not replace us. He's mad at Jared Kushner because he is a Jew who is with Ivanka Trump. And, he feels upset because of, Ivanka Trump should be with a good white guy like him. And I don't even know what this dude does. Anyhow, he had all this mouth. First of all, let me share one thing. My dude, Ivanka Trump wasn't checking for you. You weren't even on that list. There was never any fear that Ivanka Trump was going to hit you up and she was going to be in your DMs. That wasn't happening anyway. You broke. Number two, Then you had the nerve to come on YouTube and start crying because they said that there might be a warrant for your arrest. You are a bitch ass. Don't beep that, Spud. Chris Cantwell, bitch ass. Have some cactus. Hold on. Bitch ass, bitch ass, bitch ass. Cactus for you.
Ooh. Some of them got to get bleeped out.
Okay. You can bleep two of 5.
Poor Lamont.
Well, I'm sorry. Can I respond?
Yes.
Can I respond? And I just did my quick fact checking, Maynard, and actually, you're incorrect. And if you go to where he was last night, which is in Des Moines, Iowa, the Des Moines Register, which is the local paper there, the CBS affiliate in New York City, the CBS affiliate in Los Angeles, they all said the same thing that had happened this past weekend. This is 2017. Is it not correct?
Well, he might have said it again, but he originally said it September 13th, 2016.
I got you. So it doesn't have the same sting as it does have, 2 days ago. So I think the protest should be back on against Kid Rock. You know what I mean?
I never turned it off. Turned it off.
So let's be very clear. And again, I'll say this from my own personal experience of seeing how, at one point in time, Kid Rock's best bud was Too Short. You know what I mean? How Kid Rock basically came to our community when he decided he wanted to be part of our culture, and how he, the light switch went off and said, you know what, I'm going to get some whiskey and a Confederate flag, and I'm going to run for Senate as a Republican in the state of Michigan and basically be one of the most perceived, and that's what I said, perceived people who are racist. And isn't baby moms black?
Mm-hmm.
Hello? Yeah. Child that's half black. You know what I'm saying? And again, just a lot of things that he's done and said over the years have been very questionable once he stepped out of the realm of deciding he wanted to be part of black culture. So let's keep, whether it's last year or 2 days ago, I think Kid Rock, he does deserve a honorary cactus for this week.
Okay. Kid Rock, you need to choke on a cactus. Bitch ass.
There you go.
Hey, wait a minute now. You snuck one too many of them in now.
I had to do that because Lamont, that's not me. That was Lamont twisting my arm.
Yeah,
I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
Kid Rock was at the state fair, bro, in Des Moines. And again, shout out if you're from Des Moines. I know a couple brothers that play for the Hawkeyes, and they do what they do up there. God bless them. But that's an area that, the Confederate flag, it flies kind of heavy that way, bro. So he was on his home turf, just like Donald Duck is. I don't know if he started yet, or if it was whatever it is, or it's coming tomorrow of him running to Arizona to do a pep rally. You know what I mean? He can't do a pep rally.
Is that tonight?
It's tonight.
Man, that's tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they pick and choose what they want to do.
Is he going to what's y'all bet? Is he going to pardon the sheriff dude out there?
Of course.
Of
course.
Y'all, yeah.
Of course. Wouldn't you, Maynard?
No. I would pardon you, Lamont. I'd pardon you.
Thank you, man.
I would. For saying that, we need to stay out of certain people's business. I might pardon you. You might not get your black card back.
I'm trying to save us, Maynard. We haven't come to grips.
What?
That trying to save us?
Yeah.
Is first of all, we can't fight every fight. We're not that strong. We running around. We trying to save Colin. We trying to, protest this. We trying to run over there. We trying to do this. And we still trying to go and Maynard, I don't want to. Right, it's too much. And see, that's the whole point of the strategy.
Mary Waters, she out here. Reverend Al Sharpton, he done taking selfies. Now he want all the evangelists to come to Washington. Spike Lee trying to get everybody to come to New York. We do got a lot going on.
Some runners up for cactus that Paris Denard, my dude, you watch out. You on the radar right there. You on my Doppler. You on Cactus Doppler.
If we have on our Facebook page and our website, there should just be a section for Paris Denard on the cactus list. I mean, it should just always stay up there. I mean,
Pastor Nard, Doppler cactus. He's on the Doppler. He's on the cactus Doppler. Boop, boop.
Saturday is the fight. Maynard, who you putting your money on? Floyd.
I gotta rock out with Floyd.
McGregor? You going with Colin
I gotta
McGregor
rock out with Floyd.
The money you got floor seats?
No comment.
Okay. Floor
No
seats,
comment, sir.
$215,000.
Yeah, 215. You know, I personally don't have them, but I'll keep it 100 with you. I do know a couple of brothers that are going to be in attendance. You know what I mean? So I'll just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Is it time to abandon R. Kelly?
You know what, man? You know, we gave R. Kelly too many passes, man. You know, R. Kelly came out with the tape, and then, you know, he came out with the Chocolate Factory, and we was like, okay, R. Kelly, we like this Chocolate Factory. We messing with you again. You know, as long as you keep on putting out music, we're going to keep messing with you. But now, Kelly, I don't know, man. I mean, first of all, I don't have to go to another R. Kelly concert. I mean, there's so many times I can only see Bump and Grind and, you know, Keys to the Ignition. I don't have to see that no more. But Kelly, come on, dude. I mean, you got a problem. And you got to really face your problem. When I was looking at you know, the what was the thing, the little cult, you know, girls came out and was talking about, you know, we all in the thing, and we you know, we can't go nowhere. We, you know, abandoned in the studios, and we living in garages and all that other stuff. And then the girl came out talking about, oh no, I'm fine, I can leave whenever I want to, and all that other drama. You know, it's all good. It was just stupid. And so then I was like, okay, Kelly, you're doing too much. Now, my brother.
If he come out with a new album and they call you to work that record, what's the deal?
You talking about for Robert?
For Robert.
Jesus Christ.
Are you working that record or what, man? I mean,
what you're not gonna do? You're not gonna box me in for a yes or no. You're gonna have to let me explain. You know what I'm saying?
Let me explain.
You're not gonna box me in, G. You're not gonna box me in.
Come on, Lamont.
So listen. Let me just say this, brother. Hold up.
Hold on. Now you got on me with my Uncle Bill, and you talking about let me explain.
Let me explain. Listen, man. Here's my thing with Robert Kelly, man. And first of all, I always say, you know, God bless and rest her soul, Aaliyah. Is that, you know, I you know, me being from the D and me being a part of, you know, some of that success in terms of music, you know, promotion is concerned, is that this writing has been on the wall, man, for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? And Spud is right. Obviously, the brother has a way of doing things that is not normal, or what I perceive to be normal, and is actually illegal. You know what I mean? You know, some of the relationships, physical relationships that this man has had with people is illegal. It's against the law. You know what I'm saying? Not only is it nasty in my eyes, but it's against the law. And for my man to have dodged some of the things that he dodged over the years, you know, God has like been giving homeboy like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 chances. And I just say this, man, is that outside of Robert, I always say, like, most of the time your favorite artists, you don't really want to know who and what they really are.
I think you're hitting us with the Republican pivot right now.
I mean, it might be. No. This is Magic Johnson pivot. This is Magic Johnson.
Hey, yo.
This is a Kellyanne Conway hit. This is
Spud, Spud, I sent him 3 gift certificates to Kellyanne Conway school. I didn't know that. Listen, I didn't know if he had actually received them and redeemed them, but now I know he has redeemed them and he went and learned. Thank you for at least not letting me waste my money, Lamont.
Listen, when Torrey said, "Do you like underage girls?" No, or teenage girls, and Robert was like, well, "How old is teenage?" Negro, teenage. You know what teenage is? How old is a teenager?
But let me deflect though, because Torrey, he's whack. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I like Torrey. Torrey, I know I've been reaching out to you to be on this podcast. Just ignore everything that I've been sending you.
No, tell my man. No, tell him to come on, but he's whack.
Ignore all my emails, man. Ignore all my emails.
Yeah. Spud, you know what he said? He said, yeah, but Touré's fake news. Conway Touré. You fake news them. It's catching. Yo, that thing is catching.
Yeah, man. It's
like the vapor.
It's sad, man. I mean, it's sad about R. Kelly. I think that, again, he has a problem. Same thing with Mystical. I mean, this is the second time Mystical turned himself in for rape. What are you? I mean, God, dog, you got too much money to have all that aggression, Playboy. Like, Mystical, bring it down. Bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. You going back for the same charge? Come on.
Well, Spud, let me just say this, and I'll say it again. The writing was on the wall. You heard the way he told them girls to shake it fast.
Shake it fast. Watch yourself.
Right? So, I mean, hey, man, it's been there. Yeah, I mean, he's the brother's been aggressive since day one. So it's all coming to pass. You know what I'm saying? So God bless those brothers, man. I mean, obviously on the real, they got some other stuff going on deep inside there. They soul that they got to try to address and deal with, man, because that ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Not only is it not right, but it's the law, man. Like you can't take advantage of people like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? You just can't do it.
True. We over our time, ladies and gentlemen, so we out of here. Thank you so very much for checking out this episode of Three Black Guys with the Mic. We'll be back again next Tuesday at our regular scheduled time. Sorry we're here on the Wednesday, but, Lamont was in the country. And do you want to tell everybody about your country story and you being in Tupelo, Mississippi and everything like that?
Well, shout out to everybody in Tupelo. You know what I'm saying? We was just kind of just hanging out, and I saw Cotton for the first time. And
shout out to Mr. Charles and his land.
Oh, no, Mr. Charlie. I think,
Charlie.
Yeah, Mr. Charlie. Yeah, one time to Mr. Charlie with the Confederate flag hanging from his front porch, and him sitting in a rocking chair with the dog and the gun across his lap. That image is real. You know what I'm saying? It's really real out here. So shout out to Uncle Mr. Charlie. What up, though?
Hey, yo, real quick, Spud, thanks for posting the Dick Gregory interview. That was pure dopeness, and R.I.P. Dick Gregory.
R.I.P. Jerry Lewis, too, but definitely R.I.P. Dick Gregory. I was glad I had the opportunity to be able to interview Dick Gregory. Shout out to TV1, too, even though y'all was a little janky on the special. But I did appreciate, the unsung Hollywood on Dick Gregory, even though y'all had like 10 minutes worth of dead air. But y'all did y'all thing. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back again next Tuesday. I holla.